Gee, I wonder what today is for this point today. Well, tell you what, I need to get myself my 20 extra lives back after turning off the main game and able to reset my game in the process, and this is how it goes over and over again, which, gonna think about it though, it might be exactly what happened. So even then though, thankfully though, we got those 20 extra lives back. But at least even then, we don't have to worry about the cosmic races anymore though, because well, obviously we've pretty much done them all. So even then though, it all comes down to the last set of few missions, and especially noticeable with the last few comments that we need to deal with. So even then though, hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Piglet here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my Let's Play of Super Luigi Galaxy in the Super Mario Galaxy game for the Nintendo Wii / Nintendo Wii U as a digital download software. So, anyway, so last time we actually did manage to start things off with the engine room and managed to gather about, I would say, 10 power stars so far in the last video, which means including Sans Power Galaxy. So I just want to classify for that. So today for this episode is the fact that we're about to be continue on and hopefully trying to conclude the engine room by able to, what else, collect some more power stars in the process. So even then, yeah, today's day is the 27th of May in 2019, and so far so good. We've already got ourselves into, like, tomorrow, that, well, before that, we've already got about 2 more weeks to go until this year's E3. So even then though, I'm probably not going to mention about this too much tomorrow, because obviously I've already got myself Klonoa Daughter Phantom Isle to. What's saying for this matter is the fact that what if I'm still currently doing Klonoa Daughter Phantom Isle as the actual Let's Play of the game, I'm actually going to be able to wrap things up with that game and during in this week. So even then though, that's because you know, I cannot even believe that we're actually breezing for that game super duper fast, and especially noticeable with how the fact that, well, until whenever we get to Klonoa 2 at some point in the future, most notably in 2020 or something like that, then expecting that game will be slightly longer than the forms of its predecessor. So it can be only been one thing, but even then we'll find things else by that specific time. So, but I digress. So to be expected at this point, we're going to be able to actually rescue these silver stars basically once again. So even then though, to be expected, we need to be able to find them in the exact same order, because I'm actually going to be saving that the last silver star on that island for last. Like, you know, the ones at the very middle portion of this particular level. And then after all that, then we can able to actually just to grab that power star, and I believe we're going to be moving on to Toy Time Galaxy. In this case, my favorite galaxy in the whole entire game. At least to me though anyway, because well, I still really enjoyed that world even to this day. Especially noticeable with how the fact that how colorful and especially noticeable how interesting that world is. So, but yeah, I digress. So, another thing's worth talking about is the fact that, well, recently, a couple of days ago, is the fact that recently that Sword Art Online, Holo Realization, Deluxe Edition has been recently came out on the Nintendo Switch recently. So even then, while not exactly a big MMORPG kind of gaming like that, I've always been a good fan of RPGs. Like, for instance, you know, I'm still really keen on Kingdom Hearts, and especially noticeable with Mario and Luigi series, and even Paper Mario series, and all that stuff. I think that's the only RPG games I would most likely enjoy from, because, well, these are my kinds of types of gaming and stuff. So even then though, well, usually for kinds of the experience of and all. So, but I digress. So, again, not much to really say about this here. So even then though, because of that though, still haven't got any details about the forms of the Nintendo Direct, of how long that Direct will be last until, because, well, obviously we've already got ourselves about like two more weeks to go. Well, almost 2 weeks to go for this point, until tomorrow anyway. Then we shall be able to actually find out some more details about how much minutes does the Nintendo Direct will last for. So even then though, because do you remember in last year, they did manage to last for about 45 minutes or something like that? Which, the majority of the time at the very beginning, specifically about 15 minutes, like, they've already mentioned about some new announcements and stuff, like some gaming and everything, like Super Mario Party, and especially noticeable with, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and especially noticeable for, other Nintendo Switch titles here and there as well, so, that's worth mentioning. And also during later on during the likes event, I would say about for 30 whole minutes, they managed to able to actually just talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which even then, as much as I still really enjoy that game as it is, out of all the E3, E3 Nintendo Directs announcements, but generally speaking, that I still really enjoy Super Smash Bros. Ultimate even to this day. I feel like it can go pretty overstayed or welcome, like it just dragged on for too much. Like, as I mentioned this before, they mentioned about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in E3 last year for about 30 or so minutes, without even, like, some other announcements, like Yoshi's Crafted World or something like that. Well, it wasn't until when, Nintendo Direct in September last year, in 2018 and 13th of September, they did manage to finally got some more info about Yoshi's Crafted World and stuff. So, because, thanks to the, Nintendo eShop channel or something like that, they did manage to able to leak out what the actual name is going to be called. So, yeah, you probably get the idea for that. So, but I digress. So, even then, though, that's as far as I can most likely think of for that specific time. So, but I digress. So here we go, folks, back to Toy Time Galaxy, and obviously the first mission that we're actually going to be going into, and that is, of course, Heavy Metal Mecha Bowser, so that's as far as I will go for that point. And I do apologize with my lack of dialogue behaving, is because, well, to be honest with you guys, I got slightly bit of a headache, but not exactly a huge headache, so I need to take myself a little bit too easy with my commentary for the sake of time. So even then though, and also, yes, I think we might actually go ahead and see Spring Luigi in action. So in this case, there it is right there. So yes, it's been a while since we actually had this. So you transformed into Spring Luigi, press A at the right moment to bounce high, boing. But again, we meet again with the most uncontrollable power-up in the whole entire game. So, believe it or not, I don't mind about this too much. It's just that it might be a little bit tricky and difficult to control this sometimes. Because, well, if you're especially noticeable if you're trying to do, like, some difficult platforming sections from time to time, then, you probably get the idea for that. So, anyways, so let's get into that pipe we go, until whenever we, get some more, star bits. Well, if all depending of, the actual spring mushroom controls, like, super imprecise and all that stuff, especially noticeable that I keep on almost falling off from time to time, and looks like so far I managed to destroy about 3 blocks, but that's okay, because even then I'm pretty sure we've got about quite a few star bits around here, so that should be alright. So 123 star bits that we've got. So yeah, still no heard of, Cap King 74 just yet, though, until whenever, like, he's still going back to, like, Breath of the Wild and stuff like that for the Zelda game and stuff. So even then, though, could be a possibility that he might actually go in and deal with other Zelda Let's Plays here and there as well. Like, I really don't know about the original Legend of Zelda, but, not exactly sure about, A Link to the Past, and especially noticeable with, well, I definitely know he might try to do with Link's Awakening Remake on the Nintendo Switch, because you can able to actually play on the go, and especially noticeable with how the fact that you can now actually finally play. Well, technically speaking, if you ever, like, play Link's Awakening on the Super Game Boy, and especially noticeable with the Game Boy player, then you would able to realize that this is actually a proper first time that the actual Link's Awakening were able to finally get a chance to play on the console treatment. So, that's pretty cool and all that stuff. Well, generally speaking, it's just that, Nintendo Switch is basically a combination of both the console / handheld device. So, you probably get the idea for that. Alright, so we meet again with, the Heavy Metal Mecha Bowser for... I would say this is actually the final time we're going to be seeing this particular boss like this, even though generally you don't necessarily fight him, it's just that you have to climb all the way up to the top. Very similar to the forms of how he does it on Mega Leg boss fights. So even then, although the major difference is just the fact that we don't have to rely on you know, launched bullet bills and stuff like that until you're able to deal the damage of, you know, the Mega Bowser himself. So that's as far as I'm most likely concerned about this. So, again, there's not much else to really talk about this at this point, folks. It's just that, well, we've only just got about 2 more weeks to go until, you know, Nintendo's E3 announcements. So you can then note that, well, it might still be there, and during the likes event, and during the actual time zone, it's going to be around 5 o'clock. You know, exactly the same time as we've already uploaded some of these, recording uploads and stuff like that. So, as far as worth mentioning. But, I will have to be honest for this point, folks, is the fact that whenever we are trying to able to deal with, like, some other, like, stuff, especially noticeable with, actually, I'll get into more details onto this whenever I go all over to the top here, and screw you, laser eye, or the laser enemy right there. But that's okay, because after all, we are playing as Luigi, and there's also other alteration right there to able to deal with this boss, and that's you can able to actually do a higher backflip right there, and then that way you can able to destroy the heavy metal Mega Bowser in the process easier. So yeah, I guess there's no need for that, you know, that spring mushroom right there. So yeah, that's worth mentioning. So anyways, let's go ahead and get ourselves our next power star, of course, and I believe we've now reached up to like 79 power stars. So I believe we've only got about 1 more power star to go until whenever we reach up to 80 power stars. So, but again, it's gone so quick, especially noticeable with this particular run I just managed to deal with right there. Especially not to mention though, that we're almost nearly towards the end, or we're getting close towards the end of this entirety of not only with Super Luigi Galaxy, but also the entire Super Mario Galaxy game itself. So, but then again, we'll show off some of these extra parts in between separate playthroughs. I got to be honest here. So here we go, folks, on to the next mission in Toy Time Galaxy, but this time around we have ourselves an alteration name, which even then, this time we have Luigi meets Mario, because, well, Luigi hasn't seen his entire brother, at least ever since back in, you know, the Super Mario Galaxy, mode. So, fast worth mentioning, so anyways, let's get these start bits from these little cogwheels and stuff like that from the distance. So just in case that, once again, I might actually go ahead and focusing on, you know, the actual secret mission first. So, yeah, you probably get the idea for that. So, alright, so let's get some more of those start bits from the actual, heart shapes formations of themselves. So, I think that might actually come to the goods for that. So, as far as at this point is the fact that whenever we reached up to, like, I would say for that current number that we most likely have to focus on at this point right now, is, I would say for about 2,800 star bits in total, at least in the Comet Observatory hub world. Then, at this point in time, whenever we're done with collecting those star bits, whenever we reach to that certain amount, for, you know, altogether anyway, then I think we should probably, you know, take a break from, like, collecting star bits and all that stuff. The only time exception, though, is the fact that whenever we deal with some of these boss fights and all that stuff. So even then, that could be a little bit of a possibilities going on right there for this point. So, I digress. So, here we go, onto this little flip switch chain right here. So even then, though, that way we could able to see how this will go. But even then, what makes this a little bit trickier with Luigi right there is the fact that, much like in most of these other missions for Luigi, is the fact that obviously he's got himself his slippery traction of his. So even then, is that we need to be extremely careful for this, especially noticeable we can't afford to able to get crushed by these tox boxes basically. So even then, and especially noticeable with, like, we really can't, we really trying to refuse to able to get trapped by those, moving spiky, platforms. So, excuse me. So yeah, I do apologize if I couldn't speak that well as much, because, you know, there's not much else I can really say about this here. So, apart from the fact that we're actually getting quite close towards the end of this, this month already, in this case in May. So I'm really looking forward to June. See, even then, though, that's because, well, I'm pretty hyped of how June is actually going to play out, especially as I said this for, like, countless amount of times about the, you know, Nintendo's E3 announcements and stuff like that, as well as some other announcements here and there too. Like, You know, for instance, Square Enix and stuff like that. I think they might actually mention about some more details about Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm presuming so. And if that's to be the case, I might actually give that game a try whenever that game actually got the final release date on. But even then, I'm expecting it might be releasing at some point in 2020. You know, very similar to the forms of how it does it back in, you know, in last year's E3. They did announce some more details about Kingdom Hearts 3 back in about a year ago. And they did manage to add in quite a few worlds to the table. Like, for instance, you know, Arendelle World from Frozen, and especially noticeable for the Caribbean world from, well, Pirates of the Caribbean, specifically at World's End World. So, yeah, that's as far as I can most likely aware of, and especially noticeable, they did say they're releasing Kingdom Hearts 3 entering 2019 in the 29th of January, so, at least back in the day that was, so... But I digress. So here we go on to the... This is actually the final time we're going to be seeing the fast forward comment in orbit for this point, folks. Because after this, then the majority of the final 3 of the normal comments that we're most likely focusing on at this point right now, which there are the Daredevil comment and especially noticeable with the Speed comment. So, and generally speaking, until later on, we're most likely focusing on the purple comments missions once in a while, so yeah, you probably get the idea for that. So, and I believe, speaking of which, is the fact that this is actually also the final time we're going to be seeing those, you know, these talks boxes until, well, in the future time anyway, though. Most notably with, you remember the minigame called, Talks Box Shocks in, Mario Party, the top one, no, what did I say, the top 100? I mean, Mario Party Island Tour is what I meant to say, is because, well, these guys do manage to make their return in one of the mini-games, and oh god, that was really close. Screw you, question mark block. We're able to actually almost go screw me up. But I digress. But even then, let's go ahead and just move on to this next part right there, so... But it's just that, you know, I know for the fact that it's been such a long time since I actually discussed upon new stuff in mind, because, well, there's not much else I can really say, because, well, we have to wait and see what happens until whenever we get to June and stuff like that, so, well, probably not going to mention about this too much about this details at this point, because, well, enjoying the forms of likes of how it does it from, you know what, back in during the likes event, oh, I forget what I just said, but I digress. So anyways, let's go ahead and just continue things on, and hopefully we'll activate the last 3 switches at this point, and sure enough, we're able to be completely done for this point. And generally speaking, this is the final time we're going to be hearing this music in the background, as you can tell right there, because whenever we move on to Galaxy 2, then it might be somewhat of a little bit more of an upbeat version of that particular music, if you couldn't tell. So, but I digress. So, normally the power star is right underneath that block over there. So, but generally speaking, we are done with this mission and during at that point. So, there we go. Quite frankly, though, we almost at the 20-minute mark, so hopefully we still got some more time left before we're able to actually just conclude this video or something like that. But even then, though, fast forwards off toy time, so that generally gets the job done. Alright, so let's head back to the Toy Time Galaxy for the 4th time for Luigi, but this time we have to deal with Luigi meets Mario mission, so... At least for reals this time. So even though that's mainly the case. So anyway, so we got 31 extra lives at the moment, so it's not too bad for that extra lives storage for this point. So, but I digress. So let's go ahead and just do a little bit of a somersault right here. And hopefully we'll get some more of those star bits. Now, I've said this before, that whenever we reach up to like 2,800 star bits altogether, then we might actually stop collecting those star bits for now on, though, because, well, we've already got ourselves 2 more Hungry Luma stages left, which appears to be at the gates, and especially noticeable with the final dome, in this case the garden. So, yeah, we'll probably save up for some time, so... But yeah, you get the idea. I apologize for my breathing from my nose right there, because every time whenever I commentate on certain things, sometimes that my breath seems to get almost entirely worn out, which I don't mind about it too much about commentary's sake, but it's just that whenever I talk about some small amount of stuff, even for larger amounts of stuff that I was wanting to point things out, then most of the time though, I just probably need some hydration, so, but I digress. So anyways, we actually reach up to that 8-bit platform, or in this case that we've actually meet up with Mario right here. And same old stuff, we need to grab these silver stars once again, so yeah, you probably get the idea for that part. And consecutively, we almost pretty much towards the end of, you know, Toy Time Galaxy as well. So even then though, aside from that, the Purple Comets mission later on, so that'll be, gets the job done for this point. So let's get that one up right there. And I think we've got about 33/34 if you really want to count for that 0 lives count. So that, you know, once again, that you get yourselves like one chance left if you get like your lives count has reached to 0 and stuff. So, but I digress. So we got ourselves all these silver stars, and sure enough, we get our power star in the process right here. So yeah, that's all I could really think about. So anyway, so that's it for that mission, and I believe we're now going to be moving on to the next mission in Toy Time Galaxy, which appears to be you know, the bouncing down the cake lane. So, and consecutively we need to use the you know, the spring mushroom once again. So that could be summarized for that. So, and speaking of which, let's see what this mission retains. Bouncing down cake lane. So yeah, that's the only mission I was mentioning from earlier ago. Alright, so we actually gotta reach up to reach to there once again, so okay, so but again, I do apologize with the lack of you know, some commentary and stuff like that, because again, there's not much else to talk about. I just mentioned about this several times actually, because well, every time whenever we haven't added something new to the table, well, usually it's kind of a problem, because even then, that's the only thing about this, is that whenever we did mention about these kinds of stuff like this before, since the past, then we actually running out of ideas for actual commentary and stuff like that. So, but hopefully though, whenever we get to Wednesday and stuff, then I shall be able to mention some slightly tiny little details to be able to actually discuss upon, but even then I'll explain more things about this during whenever we get to Wednesday and stuff, so hopefully that will happen. So, but I digress. Let's go ahead and just head on to this little rotating cake right there, and hopefully just trying to dodge the actual black hole, even bottomless pit included. So I don't know if there's a possibility I can able to actually just to do with a massive shortcut from here, but I don't know what to expect. So, but anyway, so let's go ahead and just keep on bouncing from time to time, and hopefully we'll get onto our sling star right there. And sure enough, we reach onto this icicle part right there, and as usual, I'm gonna have to go for this little quite a few amounts of shortcuts for this point. Well, usually most of the time right there. So, and I've no idea why my depth perception's going a little bit more too finicky for my liking, but I digress. So alright, so hopefully we can able to get ourselves not only just get onto that shortcut, but it's also getting some more star bits in the process here and there too. And hopefully just, you know, do a massive long jump right there. And sure enough, we can able to skid along and, well, just trying to... Oh, God! Okay, that's really close. And hopefully we can able to actually skid along for this point, and that was extremely close for that too. And yeah, we can able to actually get along with any single circumstances. So, and even now, let's grab our life shroom right there, and we can able to actually get some more star bits from that little cannon shot, and you know, just sling ourselves towards, or launch ourselves rather, to the actual birthday cake again. So, but even then, well, before we blow up some of these candles, we need to go ahead and see what's in that green pipe down there. And conveniently enough, it will be, I would say, the musical notes. So, because yeah, I don't think there was any rainbow star anytime for that point, because, well, I'm pretty sure we've actually done with all the most of these secrets of this game so far. So even then, like, we've already seen some of these secrets from, you know, from the Mario's playthrough, basically. There are some exceptions, like, I haven't exactly shown you the actual train secrets, so, because I think I did manage to show this off on the Mario's playthrough, although I may be wrong, but I guess I'll point things out whenever we get to the next video at some point in this Wednesday. So, well, after for my uploading recording session on Klonoa Dalton Phantom Isle first. So that way I guess the actual points itself and all that stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead and blow out some of these candles. And yeah, happy birthday. Well, it's generally not my birthday just yet though, until like, you know, a few months time. So hopefully that'll to be the case. So anyways, let's grab some more star bits here until we get up to 200 star bits or more than that. And we meet up with this little Monty Mole thingy right here once again. Now, there's actually a little bit of a trick to this with Luigi. It's the fact that although it might be a little bit time consuming to do this, that if you somehow bypass the actual spring mushroom in the process, then you can able to actually just take a damage right there while simply able to wall jump onto that specific pavement right there. Although again, there's a little bit of a timing requirements going on there, and it's also pretty redundancy to able to do this, but I might as well able to show this off in case, because you know, Luigi does have a ridiculously higher jump, so yeah, you probably get the idea for that. And well, most of the time though, you keep on getting hits most of the time though, which can be a little bit of a trickier side of things, so hopefully I should able to reach up. So, because yeah, if you take hit, it's a possibility you can able to actually wall jump again, and then you can able to actually just shake the Wiimote and just trying to jump at the exact same time. So hopefully you can able to actually just reduce. Oh, what the hell? Anyway, we got ourselves a live stream anyway though, so that's good news. So anyways, let's go ahead and just hopefully try this one last time. And hopefully, with the invincibility frames in mind, well, except for that one time anyway though. And thankfully though, with the actual shock ball attack, well, you can able to actually just manage to go a little bit slightly faster than, you know, the first hit and the second hit, so. And another thing is worth mentioning though is the fact that once again my microphone is actually acting out pretty stupid recently today, because whenever I did manage to move my microphone in the process though, for what I've done with it is the fact that it doesn't, I didn't move it or anything, or I didn't even jinx it or anything. It's just that it just jinxed it all by itself whenever I just managed to move the actual, well, if I managed to hand over the actual microphone to some toys else, or even somebody else, but even then, that's a little bit of a tiny nitpicking issue, so. Alright, so that's it for that, and let's move on to, you know, the Bonefin Galaxy. For this is actually the final time we're going to be exploring this level, so even then, because, and also at the same time, that this is actually going to be the final time we're going to be seeing King Finn, because until the sequel, we're never going to see him ever again, so. Kind of sad though, because even then I still found that boss to be extremely well, how do I put this? Intimidating. So yeah, it's one classified for that. So onwards to the King Finn boss fight, but this time with Luigi. And also what makes this boss fight slightly trickier than the forms of how it does it from last time is that, obviously, you know with the air meter, I said this before from the past few videos ago, well, you now have to rely on him while simply able to deal with him in the underwater, and keep that in mind, if you shake the Wiimote, then obviously you wouldn't able to drain your air, or draining your air meter, or in this case, decreasing your air meter super fast, so you just have to be very careful not to shake the Wiimote one too many times, because if you do such a things like so, then you're probably going to drown and you're going to die instantly. Well, the only time you can get your air back is by obviously keep on grabbing the bubbles and stuff like that, and also not to mention though, that you really want to get out of the actual water by getting yourselves your fresh air and stuff, so want to classify that. So even then, let's go ahead and just carefully steal ourselves with the actual shell, even though the green shell does also helps, and especially noticeable with the red shell that can instantly home in on you know, King Finn. So even then, let's go ahead and just launch himself onto here. That way you should be able to actually hit him in the process and grab that green shell before that little cinematic shows up. So even then, that's mainly the case here. And for some reason it's managed to make me stop from here and direct shot from here. So yeah, top notch that is. Alright, so let's get this last hit on King Finn before we're able to actually move on to the next stage of the engine room, and that will have to be the Bowser stage, or the Bowser Jr. stage. So, generally speaking for Bowser Jr., I think this is going to be the final, oh, ow. And conveniently enough, I managed to deal with him within the last hit left. So, or in this case, with my 1 health left. So, that's pretty cool for that little ultimate victory right there. So, kudos to me. Alright, so let's grab that power star at this point. But I'm really hoping I can expect it to be able to actually do not drown. Even if I get hit at least one last time. Expecting for some, you know, hazards like the actual volcano eruptions. And especially noticeable with the actual steam. Then obviously I have to redo the entire boss fight again. But I suppose one thing I couldn't mention about this before is the fact that one thing is kind of bugging me is the fact that much like in Kingdom Hearts, specifically on the PlayStation 2 version of Kingdom Hearts 1, that every time you actually rematch some of these boss fights again, you can't actually skip those boss cutscenes, so because you have to like rewatch them again and to able to actually just have another chance to fight them again. So, just want to classify for that, especially noticeable in the Daredevil missions sometimes, so anyways though, let's move on to Bowser Jr.'s Lava Reactor in King Cantaloupe's Spicy Return. In this case, this is actually the final time we're going to be seeing him in this game. Well, not so much with Bowser Jr. though, because we'll meet up with him later on whenever we get into the last level, which is, you know, Bowser's Galaxy Reactor. So even then, well, at least after whenever I'm done with, the rest of the Golden Dome, basically. So even then, that will be the case first, so but I digress. So let's go ahead and just once again dish out as many of those enemies as the always recommended part. And let's not forget about the Bullet Bill busting out those cages and stuff again. So that will be the case right there. And hopefully we can launch ourselves onto the actual hot lava planet right there. And before we're able to do anything else, much like before, we'll go after the actual live room, just for the sake of the actual parts. Something's worth mentioning though is the fact that originally I might actually not upload anything on Wednesday, but turns out I decided to change my mind because I can able to actually upload something on during this Wednesday. So at least I managed to got that. But until when it gets to June the 21st, well, we'll explain more on that during that particular month, or in this case in that June for that time. So here we are, on to the next boss. So, if I give up any more Grand Stars, my dad is gonna get mad. So, this calls for my ultimate weapon. Give them some heat, King Cantaloupe. But yeah, basically you get the drill. It's the exact same boss fight as you normally fight him from Good Egg Galaxy, but except the fact that it does have his different color, even for his eyes especially. But it makes it a little bit trickier and harder than the forms of how it does it on Good Egg Galaxy. But honestly, this guy is not that much of a cakewalk. So, in this case, this guy is a total cakewalk. So, at least especially if you know what you're doing, and especially noticeable, you really need to rely on, you know, sinking platforms every time you stand on them for a longer period of time, then you weren't able to actually burn your butt. So, yeah, you just have to stay sharp on that one. So, but yeah, that's as far as I can say about the forms of today's video, honestly, guys, because there's not much else to can really speak of until whenever we get to 2 weeks' time. Especially noticeable when it gets to the point until the 10th of June to the 14th of June. Then I will explain more things too much. So, but I digress. So that takes care of King Cantaloupe, and that was actually the final time we're actually going to be seeing him in this game. So yeah, farewell to him. And of course, we can never forget the 6th Grand Star, which in this case for Luigi's 6th Grand Star, compared to like, well, for the majority of the time, this is actually the 13th Grand Star we've actually got for our Super Mario Galaxy game from now on. So yeah, that's actually pretty swell. And of course, not to mention with this is actually the final time we're going to be seeing that that King Cantaloupe boss fight. This is also the final time we're going to be seeing this sequence right there, because, well, obviously whenever we get to Bowser's Galaxy Reactor, then we shall able to actually finish up the main majority of the main adventure, but on Luigi's perspective. So you probably get the idea for that. So So now we can actually access to not only the gate dome, well, in this case the gate, but it's also the final dome, which is, what else? The golden dome. So, but obviously we've already access to 4 galaxies plus 1, so yeah, you probably get the idea for that. So, as in there's no cutscene speech or anything like that, so yeah, that probably gets the the explanation right there. So, yeah, I guess I'll end things off here for this point, so join me next time on Let's Play Super Luigi Galaxy. It's the fact that we're about to be, going back into the gates, and especially noticeable with starting things off with the Golden Dome. So see you guys then. Later, fellas.